Recently, I've been seeing an increase in newer player comments on my channel. Despite me having a ton of beginner videos on my channel, I've decided to share my top 10 tips for a newer player. So when you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. At number 10, we have exploring the Runescape 3 interface. Now, I've actually mentioned this in my beginner's guide, which I'll link in the description below if you're interested, but Runescape 3 has a very advanced interface system. You have a lot of customization options, but then again, having all of these options and customizability may be very confusing for a newer player. So I suggest you spend at least 15 to 20 minutes exploring the interface options. As with the Runescape 3 interface, you can reposition, resize, and change around most of the interfaces. And by these smaller interfaces, I mean these sections. You can add a timer so that you do not forget your favorite daily or weekly activity in game. If you're not aware of these are called D&Ds. Distractions and diversions, which you can do every day, week, or month, and usually the good ones give you a good experience bonus. At number 9, we have know what you're getting into. Now, you may think of RuneScape as a casual MMO which you can easily get into. But that's actually wrong, as RuneScape 3 is a game that takes a lot of dedication. Now, I'm not saying you have to play 10 hours a day, but getting to certain things in game, especially the higher tier PvM, bossing, or combat, will take you a lot of time. Now, you should always play this game at your own pace, but you have to understand that RuneScape 3 is definitely one of the grindiest games out there. But if you're playing RuneScape 3 for, let's say, the lore of the game, you can easily get into that straight away, and it will not require you to have to grind as much as you think, or as much as the other things require you to do. Though you will have to grind out the stats that you do require to get access to certain quests and lore parts of the game. So to conclude this point, RuneScape 3 is a commitment in gaming. So you should ask yourself if you're willing to put a lot of time into this game, because putting 3 or 4 hours in this game won't get you that far. Although if you're enjoying the game, why would that matter, right? At number 8, to actually follow up on the previous point, is set small goals for yourself. Don't get into this game thinking you need to get certain goals which will take you thousands of hours straight away. Set yourself a few easy goals to achieve and move on from there. I actually have a video covering 10 early game account goals for your RuneScape account, which I'll link in the description below if you want to get a general idea of some easy low-level beginner goals. These goals mostly consist of certain stats and quests which will benefit your account in the mid to end game. Though you should set some small goals for yourself as well instead of picking the goals I mention, because RuneScape 3 is one of those games where you choose your own path. Do not follow someone else's completely. The reason I put this point in the video is because when you set yourself goals that are way too ambitious or far-fetched, you will burn out of this game much quicker than if you would set yourself small goals instead. At number 7, we have a point that may not be relevant to you depending on your financial situation. It's when to buy bonds and when to not buy bonds. If you're a newer player and you can barely make money in this game, or you just make money very slowly, I highly suggest getting membership with real life money instead, unless it's not an option. As getting membership with bonds is an easy way to save money IRL, but this can also be a hassle or stressful if you're trying to make back the money you used on the bond within those 14 days of membership that a bond gives you. Now, some of you guys watching may be thinking, what the hell are bonds? Now, bonds are an item you can buy with real life money to sell in game for RuneScape coins. Now, what I meant by buying bonds is if you're in a position to buy bonds with RuneScape GP and you can sustain your membership like that, it may be worthwhile in the mid to end game. But as a starting player, I highly advise against it. Now, another way of obtaining bonds, like said previously, is using your hard-earned cash IRL. If you have one of those Gucci hats and you can afford yourself some bonds, you could do that, but I highly advise against buying bonds as a starting player, because this will take the element of making money out of the game. The only situation I can see this being worthwhile or worth it is if you're 10 to 20 million off one of your favorite weapons or a gear upgrade and you really want it and can't wait any longer, then you could buy bonds if you can afford it IRL. Now, there are ways of getting RuneScape GP cheaper, but this is completely illegal and will get your account punished by, I actually don't know what the punishment is for buying gold off of gold sites, but just don't do this. Even if you're an endgame player, just don't buy gold off of gold sites. It's going to get your account punished in whatever way it may be. I did use the word illegal. It's not going to get you in jail or something. Let's move on to the next point, shall we? At number 6, we have a tip that will be very useful to newer players. It's the lodestone system in RuneScape 3. Now, lodestones can be found at any town in RuneScape. All you have to do to activate them is walk towards them and click on them. After you've done this, you can use this lodestone unlimited amounts of times to teleport to this area much faster than you would walking there. There are also a ton of other useful teleportation items that you can easily obtain by buying them through the Grand Exchange or obtaining them through a quest. I actually have a top 5 video covering the best teleportation items in game, which I'll link in the description below as well. But the lodestone system is definitely one of the best things in RuneScape 3. I highly suggest when you first make your account to unlock most of the lodestones early on, so that you'll never have to activate them again. At number 5, we have quests. Now, quests are essential for your RuneScape 3 account, and if you're interested in lore, these can be extremely fun and engaging. Though if you dislike them, you're still going to have to do them because, like I said, they're essential for your RuneScape 3 account and can benefit you in so many ways. They can unlock new areas, bosses, new monsters, they can unlock special prayers, the curses, and so many other useful items. Now, the great thing about quests is, at least early on, is that they give so much experience and skills that you're better off doing the quests than training the skills themselves, as you're going to have to do these quests later on anyways if you want stuff like Elf City or curses. And touching on a previous tip, having the lodestones unlocked for quests is extremely useful. Trust me. At number 4, we have joining a clan or a Discord community. This can be useful for a variety of things. The main one being you have people that have more knowledge of this game than you and are veterans to ask questions. You can ask them for help, you can ask them for tips on specific things, you can ask them to explain certain mechanics of the game to you, and sometimes you can join in on events which can make this game much more fun, because playing together in any video game is just much more enjoyable than playing all alone. Now, to join a clan, you can easily find one on the RuneScape website, just looking at the clan rankings and joining a large clan with a lot of players. Do keep in mind, some clans only want you for the numbers and don't want you to help you out and such, so you're going to have to find a good clan. And I can't really help with that because I do not have any recommendations and I don't want to recommend a clan that might turn bad in the future. Just try and find one for yourself. Another way of finding a clan is looking for a clan vex in game and asking for an invite, if the clan seems fun to you. Now, there are a bunch of Discord communities out there, but a few I can recommend are definitely YouTubers' Discords, because they're usually filled with a lot of people that want to help you out or want to boss together. My own, for example, will be linked in the description below. The RuneScape official Discord is definitely a useful one to be in as well, and skilling-specific Discords, or the PVM Encyclopedia Discord, which I'll also link an invite to in the description below if you want to play RuneScape for that PVM element, aka bossing, and they have a bunch of tips and guides and a lot of experienced players inside. At number 3, we have watching YouTube guides, whether that's for skills, quests, bosses, or monsters, or anything else in game. Now, whenever I play any game, I always look up a beginner's guide or a guide on how to obtain certain things in game or how to get started. Now, a lot of things in RuneScape 3 can be very confusing, and that's why I recommend watching a ton of YouTube video series and guides to help you get more informed. Some great examples would be some maxing series of certain players, showing you from beginning to ending how to play this game, skill guides, quest guides, top 5s, or best stuff to do at a certain level, and videos like that. Now, obviously I'm going to be recommending my own guides, as they're extremely noob friendly and easy to understand, at least that's what the players or viewers say. But of course, there are many other YouTubers that can help you out, and all you have to do is look up RuneScape 3 guide and look around on YouTube. One thing I really need to mention though, if you're looking up money making guides, please keep in mind that old guides will very often be outdated. And if you're looking for a money making guide, I suggest you watch something that has been uploaded in the last few weeks, as otherwise it may not be relevant or good money anymore. Now, at number 2, I actually want to mention the action bar, because the action bar is not only used for combat abilities, but can be extremely useful at the lower to mid levels for dropping gathered resources to grind XP faster. Now, when training a skill that gathers items, whether that's fishing, woodcutting, or something else, you can put the gathered item, usually one item only, on your action bar. If it's multiple, then you put the second and third item on your action bar. Then with the keybinded item, you can actually spam drop this item out of your inventory to clear your inventory fast for another inventory of logs or fish by just spamming the keybind. This is super useful for fishing and woodcutting, especially if you're just AFKing and your inventory is full once you look at your screen. Then you just spam drop the fish or logs and keep on cutting or fishing. And at number 1, the most important tip for any new player: explore and enjoy the game, because RuneScape 3 is one of those games filled with mysteries and new things to discover around every corner. This is probably one of the biggest reasons why RuneScape got popular back then, because you can explore a massive open world. So just grab your bronze sword and go around and explore the world of RuneScape. And on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.